And welcome in, Jims and Jimettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. This is episode number 15. And yes, we're coming up on 420. This is our 420 episode. You might get nice and stony baloney over the week, but I guarantee you won't be as high as the White Sox bullpen's ERA. My name, excuse me, I am your host, Nick Johnston. I wish I wish I had as many ranting topics last week as I did this week, when I was all by myself, but happy either way. Love doing this as much as possible. Jam packed today with a White Sox check-in, maybe getting blazed to the Cubs game. We'll get more into that. A farewell to Jonathan Toews, nice career retrospective on that. Recapping Bulls playing game and dipping our toe in some round one action. Well, a lot of injuries so far. So yikers on that one. Finally, a Sam's Club size palette of wrestling topics to get into. We'll do our quick roll up size thing or quick roll up game, puffer pass type style on that. But we'll hit the high spots. We'll hit CM Punk being all over the news like he usually is. All that, tons more in between. We had turns, retirements, passionate debuts, all that and more. We got all that coming up. But let me introduce to you my co-host, the founder and CEO of FatCat_Streams, and that's with a Z. It's Mikey J. Fatcat. How you doing tonight?
I'm great, man. It's a 420 episode.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. Love
I
doing that.
am cooked up. We are
Responsible.
ready to go. Let's hit it. How are
Yes.
you doing? It's
Doing
a
all
great
right.
fucking day out. The weather's nice. It's not snowing, so let's go.
Yeah, of course. Everyone knows what happened. It went from 80 on over the weekend and then just splat right into some snow to one of the just grossest things. But that's just
Another
that's
day in
Chicago for you.
Chicago.
That's Chicago for you. I hate that. And it just it's all right. I don't mind. You're just where we are. You're basically just nice and planted where everything is. So I don't care. Chicago's where it's at, bro. That's where it's at. We got the sports, we get the AEW, we get basically all the good stuff. We get the good pizza. I don't care what anyone
Weed's
says.
legal over here, you know.
We bask in all the good stuff. We got some pretty cool stuff to get into. Like I said, got some nice little appetizers we can hop on into. I know you had your third helping of Mario or Super Mario Brothers,
Yeah.
even after you went and dipped out of the last time of us. So that was good. Hopefully Alan is caught up on some sleep and can get into check in now. If you're all good, ready to roll, I mean, we can just dive in on some appetizers. We got a ton of stuff to get into today. So, like I said, episode 15. Let's lock in. Let's get loaded. Are you ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. You were passionate. You wanted to talk about this when you hit me up right away as soon as the story broke. Shaq on Angel Reese. I'm gonna do a little role reversal. Switch it over to you. What's going on with this? What was the whole rigmarole and rowdy roo about Shaq and talking about Angel Reese?
I just saw it out of the blue the other day, just scrolling through social media, And Shaq, I guess he was on some podcast. I don't know, Malik Andrews or whoever it is that's the host, some person in the NBA, I think. But Shaq he openly said that Angel Reese is the greatest athlete to ever come out of LSU sports, and he made sure to reiterate himself multiple times. He cut her off, and he was like, "You hear me? You hear what I said? He was like male and female, male and female." Like, and so I have a list here,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
and
actually
these
I
are
brought up a
LSU
couple people too.
athletes better than Angel Reese in no particular order.
Shoot.
Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, right down here. Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh yeah.
Lolo Jones,
Mm-hmm.
literally a Olympic athlete that won gold medals by herself. Alex Bregman won a World Series, came out of LSU. Shaquille O'Neal, who said this, he is the greatest center ever, and he says, I get that she won a national championship, and that's all good and all, but it's also still college, and let's see what she does in the actual WNBA. So I don't know if you can just say this early that she's better than every athlete that's ever come out of LSU. So that's just what, and I mean, I've got even more on here, which I don't even know. Maybe this might be a stretch, but Leonard Fournette. I mean, I feel like he's had a pretty solid career in the NFL, and you're gonna just say that she's hasn't even played in the actual like WNBA yet. So I mean, it's just oh
No, it
my
is
God.
definitely frustrating when I mean, he's doing his best. He's trying to vouch for her, sure, but blatantly lying. That's not gonna get over, Shaq. We're gonna see right through that, dude. So I know, just recency bias maybe, but yes, when you get down to the bare bones and you list it out, did you say uh who
I
Jamal?
had a couple more on
Yeah,
here, but
Jamal
it's just
Adams was there.
yeah, I hate him, so I didn't put him on here.
Similar Sylvia Fowles, former. She used to be on the Sky, so
Mm.
that was pretty cool.
I saw Odell Beckham,
Yeah,
Andrew Whitworth, who's
yeah.
one of the greatest linemen ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
First ballot Hall of Famer, probably.
so I feel like it's a little disrespectful to people like them. It's like, hey, you're the best ever. Like, I don't know about that. I respect, good for her for what she's done and all, but just that blatant statement is what made me. I was like, what? Like you're literally just saying that for clickbait
Yeah,
and like
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
views and shit.
That's what it comes down to, clickbait, and then ultimately very disrespectful, and you're just gonna ignore what everybody else is doing across all sports too. You're just gonna, yeah, exactly. I liked your thing exactly that. Just that she won gold. Lolo Jones winning gold medals by herself. There wasn't a team. I know, of course, it's a basketball team game. Yeah, I get it. Again, frustrating. Yeah, I agree with you. I would sign my name next to that same thing. Just it's annoying to hear something like that. But if he truly believes it, then there you go. But again, everyone can see right through it. It's not the truth. It's just simply not the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, no problem, man.
I saw that and I remember I immediately sent it to you and I was like, yeah, we're talking about this
Oh
because
yeah, no,
I cannot believe he said
it
this.
was probably less than 24 hours that even after the last posting, the last episode 14. So you were like, this is next. This is opening. I'm like, yeah, without a doubt.
Let's see what she does. If she wins like a bunch of
Oh yeah.
WNBA championships in a
No,
row, then
I
it's
say it
like,
all the time.
okay.
Prove me wrong. Prove everyone
Yeah.
wrong. Do it. I got no problem. I made a drop today in class. Like I was wrong thing. So don't worry. We'll be previewing the next segment sometime soon. As soon as I'm really wrong about something. But don't worry. I'll be right. I'll be right with something else. I'll counter it. So that's how we rolling with that. But I mean, yeah, if he truly believes it, that's fine. But I don't know. Truly, at the end of the day, it's kind of disrespectful, like you said. Anything else on Shaq and Angel Reese right there?
I'm good on that.
Yeah, it's always nice to just blow some steam off. I know. Let's see. Getting down into our appetizers. Another one right here. Maybe something that'll get you more on the positive side. Eddie Munson, he's going to be returning in a Stranger Things prequel, not on any sort of small screen or big screen. It's going to be a novel, so get your reading glasses
A
on.
novel.
Yeah, set for release on October 31st, titled The Flight of Icarus. This will be set 2 years prior to the chaos that we witnessed on screen. Let me go ahead and maybe read a little, not a passage, but just maybe a mini description of what exactly it's going to be going on. If this thing wants to go ahead and load for me, let's see. Of course I overran it. Come on now, filling some time. There we go. As reported, the kooky metalhead will be getting an origin story in Flight of Icarus, a novel set 2 years before the events of the fourth season. The story sees Eddie, who is played by Joseph Quinn on the Netflix show, attempt to forge a musical future with his band. Oh God, Corded Coffin, Corroded, Corded Coffin, before the graduation from Hawkins High in the summer. So
Hmm.
there you go. You got a little origin story, a little fun little thing about that. Are you going to be reading up on some Eddie Munson prequels, being the big Stranger Things guy that you are?
Oh, uh, I don't know. I don't, I don't, I don't know if I really care too much about the backstory of
That's
Gletty.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was leaning towards that, and I didn't want to like step on your toes because I know you like the show, and it's not like you can take criticism and out and that and whatnot, but it's it's a little much. It's a little bit of horror out your a really good character that seemed to almost your Grogu in this series type deal. Again, I'm similar to that. I don't feel that there's a need to learn more. I feel like I learned enough about Eddie in my time with Eddie, and just leave it. Leave it be. He was a good character, possibly a great character, maybe even the best character so far in that series, arguably. So leave it at that. Go out while you're on top. Don't ruin this character, man. Don't you do it. Netflix, don't ruin this character.
Hmm.
That's it. I'll leave it at that. His Funko value has already dropped dramatically. You remember back in the day, it was almost like close to 200. I kept telling you about that.
Yeah,
It's like $50 right now. You can probably snag it for 50.
it's
But
still,
my dumb ass could have snagged it for retail back in the day, but that's okay.
and you could have sold it for.
I know I could have flipped in, and then we could have done this, and then we had been in the studio already. No, no. There you go.
Off that Eddie Funko Pop alone.
No, I just been sitting on mountains of Eddie Funko Pops. No, no, there wasn't that many in the store. Yeah, I know. Yeah, similar to you, not feeling this the reading. I already picked up another book. I picked up Quentin Tarantino's book about movies, so that'll be fun. Uh, other than that, there's no more real Stranger Things news, but I guess sidebar, new Metallica came out. Didn't check that out myself yet, but I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Be
thought it
checking
was
that out.
good.
There you go. Hell yeah.
I listened to the whole album. It was great.
Hell yeah. Hell, Bill, you and Bill are hanging out. That's good. Uh, let's see. I got another one right here. The coming maybe a local story. The Office reunion. They called this. Let me get this right. They're calling it. It don't matter. They're having an Office reunion. They're just calling it the reunion. Going to be held over
Oh,
at Navy Pier. Let's see. Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight Schrute, the guy that I'm just going to name the characters. The guy that played Kevin Malone, Meredith is going to be there. Creed is going to be there. Oscar Martinez is going to be there. Toby Flenderson, David Wallace, and many more. All those characters, they're saying up to about 30 over at the Navy Pier, April 22nd and 23rd. They usually have these pop-up events and all sorts of stuff like that. I haven't checked that out myself. Again, sort of the same thing while we're talking about TV shows. I don't know if I'll be checking it out either, but still pretty cool and stuff when little stuff like that. If you check out the props, you're like, oh man, the staplers in the jello and just
the
there's
chili's
post-it
on the
notes
floor
everywhere.
over here.
Exactly. So just and it's all fun and dandy. Again, there's been tons of those office pop-ups, but I guess the opportunity to meet and greet with the actual characters and actors and actresses from the show. So pretty cool. I think that's always fun. So
Yeah, I didn't know about that. They're gonna be at Navy Pier.
yeah, April 22nd and
Wow.
23rd. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if everyone's going to show back up both days, but you have the opportunity at least for one day. So maybe
Yeah, that's
take
really
the
cool.
take the initiative, check out the details for yourself. I'm just a little bit of a messenger guy over here. If I see it, I post it in my notes, and there you go. I do what I can. If you're good on that one, I got one little one that again kind of might spark your interest. It's some familiar names, familiar games that you've played, and from the man you've seen multiple movies from. Dead Space movie going to be directed by James Wan. I don't know if this is something new that's been sprouted about, but again, it kind of popped up in the IGN, Facebook kind of feeds that I'm getting posted about. So that's pretty far. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
awesome.
he the Insidious guy? I know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's it's gonna pop off, and for sure, I know I haven't played Dead Space personally, but I've been told that it may or may not be the scariest game of all time, just because
Yeah.
of multiple things. Like it's so dark, multiple this the amount of pop scares and all that stuff. But I mean, you can attest that if you actually played the game. So,
Yeah,
what do
that's
you
awesome.
thinking? What do you think about
That's
this one?
awesome. I mean, I know John Carpenter originally he said he wanted to make a movie out of Dead Space, but James Wan is he's just as good. I feel like he's made The Conjuring and Insidious and all this and some of the Saw movies. I don't know
Yeah,
if he did
like
all of
first
them, but
couple. Yeah,
yeah,
first.
but
Yeah, the good ones, I think.
yeah, I mean, he's made some of my favorite horror movies. So I think it's in good hands, and it's definitely a great story or game to make a movie off of. I obviously just hope that it's good, because most game shit is bad, but I feel like that's finally starting to take a turn
I think
nowadays.
so. I think directors and stuff like that, not only they're most likely playing these games, they're just like seeing it more as art and not like, oh, it's a video game. It's just something stupid kids play and they're gonna
Hmm.
eat it up anyways. No, they're people are kind of taking this stuff to heart. They see what they can do with The Last of Us
I
and
was gonna say
it's
The Last of
blowing
Us
up.
is honestly to thank a lot.
Yeah,
They're about people are gonna see that and like be like, look at how good this show did, and they went like right off the game
yeah.
and had people from the game working with the show. Like, I mean, that's how you that's how you do it.
Yeah,
You know, just do
maybe a
your own
stretch.
thing.
Yeah, maybe a stretch to say the Walking Dead series, just because it was mostly a comic book before it was any sort of video game series
But that
first.
was
But
related to the same thing. They had
yeah,
the guy that made the comics working on the show and shit. And I mean, The Walking Dead was awesome. I
yeah,
loved that show from like the first, I don't know, 1 through 8 seasons. But it takes a turn, and me and my family stopped watching. But don't want to spoil anything.
yeah. I'm kind of on the fence of like I don't care. I've kind of already dipped my toe in in like some spoilers and stuff like that later on in seasons. Like, oh, that's gonna happen, but it doesn't really matter to me. It hasn't affected my daily life just yet. Until like I said, I keep when I keep wanting to get back into it, I get into the same spot when they're in the prison and they start getting out of the prison, and then I forget what happens. So that's usually that's usually where I forget.
Is the
That's usually where
governor
I
there
fall.
around that time?
Yeah, he's
You know
already
him?
I already introduced to that character. That's where I get. So again, I get lost, see things jump back and forth and people die and yeah. Again, it's not I'm not going to criticize it in any which way just cuz I haven't finished it just yet. That's just me. I know it came out when I was just tad or just a wee bit younger of a lad and my attention span was that of a squirrel and it still kind of is. So, that's not too bad. Like I said, Dead Space. We're again tangents all over the place, but like you said, Dead Space looks like it's going to be good hands with James Wan.
Yeah, that
It's
should be
gonna be the
cool.
director. Uh, if you're good on the appetizers, we can jump on into our main course, our main four sports and all that fun junk. I think we just got about one of just about each today. I got some NFL housekeeping. Got Jonathan Tay's career retrospect, of course, White Sox check-in and a little bit of Cubs actually, unfortunately, and then the Bulls. So yeah, we got all that and some wrestling to cap us off. Let's dive in really quick on the NFL just because it's on the shorter end of the docket end of the list.
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts getting the 5-year extension, the money, it's a lot. I don't know details. I don't want to get pissed off and see how much money these guys are making. They're making a lot of good guaranteed money, but I think the best part, the funniest part to me came from finding out that his agent came to be from sliding into his DMs in a good way, in a positive making money way. Usually it's the opposite. When you get slid in the DMs, it's usually costing you a couple bucks, but not this time. Slides into his DMs and is able to I mean, I wouldn't say, for lack of a better word, persuade him to become his agent. But again, makes it out all for the better. He gets X amount of dollars, over 200 something dollars. I'm sure it was sent in our group chat, but I overshot it. So pretty good. And then of course, draws the question of what is Lamar going to do now again? We brought that up a couple of weeks ago about some stuff. So any thoughts about Jalen Hurts getting his extension? I think it's good for him, well deserved. I think over these past couple of years. I mean, he's showing exactly what I want Justin Fields to do. Not look a little sketchy in the beginning, and then just develop. He just got into a Super Bowl. If he wasn't for a couple of mistakes, he could have been raising one himself. So, pretty good on Jalen Hurts. Any thoughts on the guy?
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it for sure. He's
Get
been
paid.
improving every season, so it's exactly what you want to see. And I mean, he deserves it more than Lamar Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
truly.
Lamar Jackson, have we seen the best Lamar Jackson? Is Lamar Jackson still getting better? Jalen
I
Hurts
mean,
is getting
to
better,
be
better,
fair, he's
better.
had an
But
MVP season, correct? He's already had an MVP. Can we? I think we can see a better Lamar Jackson without a doubt, just because he hasn't been given a solid wide receiver. I mean, he's created Mark Andrews. I mean, I'm not going to take away what Mark Andrews' talent is. He's very talented, but without a doubt, he could probably thrive in another squad for sure. But he's definitely added to that as well. We've seen him run and run and run. So they've created this offense all for himself. So
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not completely out on Lamar Jackson. He's going about this all wrong in terms of how he probably should be getting paid and all that. But at the end of the day, the talent is very much there. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, we know what Lamar Jackson's capable of, and he definitely can get better. Just granted, whatever position that he's in, and it will be exciting to see him with Odell. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't seem like he's going to go anywhere this season. So
No, yeah, they offered him that whatever they did, something like 200 million as well. Nothing. I don't think anything was guaranteed, or not nothing, but a little less than what he wanted was guaranteed. But at this point, you just got to you got to take what you got to take, man. And it's running low. Your time's running out on that. So, let's see. Speaking of time running out. Time running out on the draft coming up. I know we're a little light on NFL this week just because we're going to be deep diving all next week on what the Bears are going to be doing, and I guess what the Packers are going to be doing. I'll throw you a bone. I'll give you a little fun, something to look forward to next week. Episode 16 will be deep diving into that, so stay tuned for that. I just need 2 minutes on Mel Kiper. I need 2 minutes on this dumbass, please. Came out
okay,
with. Did you see his mock draft 4.0?
no,
Okay, he
you got
opened with 4 straight quarterbacks being drafted. Did you see that? Because that's
no.
never happened before, and it's not going to happen ever. This happens every single year in all sorts of hype. I've said this before in I used to just be when I was over at my old college, just throwing it around, being in debate class. I'm like this. I don't. If I want a job, I want this guy's job where I can be wrong probably 99% about what I give out. Only do 4 or 5 assignments, being these mock draft 1.0, mock draft 2.0, 3.0. I can only do 5 things throughout the year, and I come out looking like an owl on national TV for 3 straight days, and they just throw money at me every single year. That's Mel Kiper every single year, and he's just
Yeah,
wrong and wrong and wrong, and we just eat it up. And I don't understand how he still has a job. He must have the deepest, darkest, juiciest dirt on somebody over at ESPN or NFL, wherever he seems to be hired at. So that's the only way that I think he's still around. Again, 4 straight quarterbacks, four in a row. Wow. I mean, that's insane. It's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. Whatever Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, make believe land that you think is going on, no one's going to set up for that. Everyone's losing it. Actually, people are losing interest in that Will Levis guy, the guy from Kentucky. He's going to be one of those guys that just falls and falls and falls. And whether I don't think it's up to I don't have any which way about him, but that just seems to be what's going to be the trend of what's happening right now. So he's dumb. I hate it every single year that this guy gets to come on TV and act like he's so smart when he's not. He simply isn't. He gets a bunch of this shit wrong every single year. I love that one guy back in the day was like, "Who's Mel?" That's one of the NFL films has like a little feud with Mel Kiper versus his old Cleveland Browns coach or Cincinnati Bengals coach. He's like, who the hell's Mel Kiper? Who is this guy? He's gets nothing right. He hasn't been on any teams. I'm the guy. He's like a scout or whatever. It's like, I'm the guy that does this shit. Not him. Who's this guy? Just some dweeb. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I come out here. I'm done. Mel Kiper's an idiot. Everyone knows. I'm done. He's an idiot. 4 in a row, not gonna happen. You're a joke. I don't understand. Either way, We'll
Yeah,
see him again.
that's
We'll see him this year, and we'll see him again for the next probably 20 years until AI generated Mel Kiper gets on TV or something like that.
AI generated.
Yeah,
Is he just the NFL draft? Is that all he does?
that's basically it. He's probably on there for like analysis throughout the year too, if they probably get him on there. But honestly, I mean, he's also like rumors and this and that, but he's mostly just for the draft. He gets this hot and like this is his time. This is his WrestleMania. This is his
And he blows and he gets
yeah.
pinned every time.
I can't, he's not wrong. 100 out of 100. He gets the first round pick. He gets the layups right. Everyone does. So that's why I say like anyone can do this. It's not. The draft always is so crazy, and no one. It's never right, and I don't know.
That's true.
For anyone that is like, oh, you're gonna get 30 out of 30 correct on the first round. Again, it's
That's impossible.
yeah, exactly that. Like
You cannot predict
you can't be
what
in all
teams are
30
gonna
war
do.
rooms and know what everyone's thinking. It would be great to be a fly on the wall for everyone to hear everyone's decisions and what like, oh, if X goes here, then we're gonna take X, or if like, okay, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. He can never ever be 100% right, and I know I can't be right either. I'm sitting here, I'm just some jag off in my fucking room, but it's just it blows my mind, blows my mind. I don't know. Yeah, that's just me. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah. Getting too steamed up on Mel Kiper. Not worth the fuss. What is worth the fuss, however, is if I'm good on NFL. I don't. Did you have any more on NFL?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, not much has really happened. Just the
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts
Yeah.
and
We'll
yeah,
wait. It'll be all. It's gonna be all waiting to peak for the draft. It's gonna be all climax in the draft time. So that's gonna be the big time to talk everything. But of
hmm
course, we'll be previewing what our teams want to do next week, and then we'll be going ahead and recapping the week after that as well. So yeah, let me transition from something cool into something that's well deserved. A Jonathan Toews career retrospective. Just well, you gotta tip the cap to the guy. He has finished his last game this past Friday, Saturday. I just unfortunately they lost 5-4, but the wrestling fan in me sees that. I'll spin zone in and say, hey, you know, he's got to put the Flyers over. You got to go out on your back. That's how you do it. It's a class act. It's a classy move. He still got his
lost
though.
on purpose.
He still got his though. He got a goal. The captain got his final hoorah. So let's go. I just want to hit the highest. Let me just hit everything right here. Drafted third overall in 2006 by the Hawks. Of that draft, he is second in points at 883 total and tied for second with 372 goals. Only Phil Kessel has more from that draft class. Unfortunate, like I said, they got that loss in the last game against the Flyers, but he had to put them over like he's supposed to. The numbers, they might not jump around at you, but it truly is his leadership. Well, that's truly what it came down to. We talk all the time about the pillars in AEW. But Jonathan Toews was the pillar for the Hawks and the Hawks dynasty going forward, getting Chicago 3 Stanley Cups in the span of 6 years. 2010, he was, at the age of 22, becoming the second youngest Conn Smythe Trophy winner. That is the Stanley Cup MVP. Again, he never led the league in X on the offensive ranking, offensive stats and stuff like that. But I would argue that it can be countered with wins, and that's what he did. He just won, baby. Jonathan Toews finishes his career with 3 Stanley Cups, one in 2010, 2013, and 2015. Being named captain in 2008 at the age of 20 years old. He only played 64 games at that time. No one was named captain faster than him. He's that's so far has been the coolest thing. Conn Smythe in 2010, like I said, 2-time Olympic gold medal winner for Canada, a Selk Trophy winner, which is the best defensive forward in 2013. He won the Marc Messier, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, Leadership Award, recognizing contributions to one's team and community in 2015. And if that wasn't enough, here we go. I'm just going to list off a bunch of these letters and years at you, so get ready. WCHA second All-Star team 2007, NCAA West first All-American in 2007, NHL All-Rookie Team in 2008, Olympic All-Star Team in 2010, Best Forward in the Olympics 2010, NHL Second All-Star Team in 2013, played in the NHL, named an All-Star in 2009, 11, 2015, and 2017. And that's just at least I'm sure he's a couple more accolades, but that's just the one I was able to gather as well. I'm sure there's, like I just said, I'm sure there's tons more, but more educated people are gonna dive in. It's like you missed that or you did that, but I got what I could. I'm just a hockey dummy. That's simply, I got to tip my cap as we do, simply like we do. You get to see my greasy hair. But similar to a hat trick or whatever. Thank you, Jonathan Toews. Thank you for everything. Truly, you're gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer in every sort of sense. So thank you. Hopefully this was a nice. If you somehow stumble across this, I hope that was a nice little bid you adieu to your career. But of course, nothing that I give you now is ever going to be repaired or is going to be repaid for what you gave us. So much celebration, so much just excitement, and just bringing hockey back to Chicago. That's truly what Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, all the boys did that brought together all those Stanley Cups. So thank you. 1,000 times thank you, Jonathan Toews.
Yeah, it truly is the end of an era. And we might not see something like this for a very long time, if ever. So it was awesome. Well, it lasted for sure, and it's always sad when it's over like this, but you gotta always remember the good times.
Yeah,
3
absolutely.
Stanley Cups. Just awesome. They were such a fun team.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Oh,
I can't say anything more than you said about him. So, well,
yeah, no,
I mean,
I did my homework, like I said, between the Google and some Wikipedia stuff. What was on the Blackhawks page and the NHL stats. So if I have to give references like homework, there you go. That's what I looked forward. That's what I looked up, everybody. So go ahead and you can check my work on that as well. I mean, just reminiscing when I was doing that, just thinking about the 17 seconds that I only listened to because my TV is in the basement, is right next to my bathroom. If some people are probably like that as well. If you were counting the Hawks out like I do, you're like, screw it, I'm going to the bathroom. And I heard goal tied. I'm like, oh sweet, let me hurry up and wipe. Goal, they're in the lead. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to hurry up and clean my waste, as they say. So I mean, just tons of great memories from these Hawks, from Jonathan Toews, from Patrick Kane. But of course, like I said, that's what it's going to be. I wouldn't doubt that the retiring Hawks numbers 19 is going to be retired. 88 is going to be retired as soon as these guys are all done soon.
oh
So
yeah.
there you go. That's like I said, finishes with 883 total points, 372 goals. I think well over 1,000 games played, all for the Hawks. There you go. That's Jonathan Toews, baby. We're gonna miss you. Anything more on there? Because that's like I know the NHL playoffs kicked off yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even on
I
Sunday
believe
as
so.
well.
On Monday,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna shame on me. I'm not going to be really paying attention probably till Stanley Cup, really till it gets down to the Western Conference, Eastern Conference Finals. But I mean, I'll still be watching just because I personally think no matter what, even if you don't have skin in the game, just watching playoff hockey, the game itself and the series just blow so fast, and they're just they're more meaningful. So I think it's that, and it's the most chaotic where a team like Boston, even though they won 63 games this year, they broke the record. They still have the potential. They're just as evenly, maybe just the matchup, but they can get swept. And it's crazy because hockey is just so nuts. So I mean, that's just how I perceive it. So there you go. There's that hockey in the books over here. We're gonna be talking about a little bit of the Diamond, a little bit of White Sox baseball checking in, and it's not good. I'm not feeling it. I know they're coming off of at least game 1 loss of the doubleheader. Yeah, that's a good picture of Dylan Cease to put it up right now. Just disappointed, tired, sick of the bullpen blowing all these games. They're winning right now. It's already It's already top of
three
the
to
fifth.
zero.
Holy crow! Holy crow! By the time we
Thank
started
you, pitch
recording,
clock.
yeah, hell yeah! You see Boston and the Angels finished in an hour and 57 minutes the other day.
Wow.
2-1, an hour and 57 minutes. I love that. We're talking White Sox, not Red Sox right now. And the bullpen is getting absolutely cooked. I got some numbers for you. Last 9 games, the last 3 series consisting of the Pirates, the Twins, and the Orioles. The bullpen has had 29 and 2/3 innings pitched, with the White Sox bullpen giving up 20 earned runs and
Oh,
18 walks, only to be countered with 38 strikeouts over that span. And, a lot of that coming from the Orioles series where we got pounded, at least in that one, in the bullpen wise, giving up 12 earned runs, 12 base on balls, walks, and that only in the span of 11 innings. We only countered it with 10 strikeouts. So not good. Not good. We already saw that, like I said, Jose Ruiz was DFA'd and sent to Arizona. Joe Kelly goes down on the IL. I just saw it just today. Jimmy Lambert gives up a home run to Josh Harrison of all people. God, I just not being a White Sox fan isn't fun right now. That's why I got my Chicago Sky hat on. But I do have my
family.
family. It's always we gotta bring them in close when it's like this. It's you love them all the time,
Oh yeah,
even if you're pissing. It's that's family. They piss me off, but I love them to death.
we gotta
Uh,
stick with them.
yeah, we can only hope that someone steps up because we're not getting reinforcements until probably mid June, early June, mid June. I'm talking Garrett Crochet and hopefully Liam Hendricks. Change it to Kendricks, but Liam Hendricks hopefully being available at that time. Yeah, just crossing our fingers there. I'm still gonna bag on the offense a little bit. I wish I had $1 for every time that we just started off with base. If we had bases loaded, no outs, or bases loaded, no one out, and we come away with no runs, that's basically every single time. The other day, Andrew Benintendi gets on with a no outs triple essentially, and isn't able to come across the plate. It's just unfortunate that this offense isn't clicking just yet. I know it's still pretty early. Got a wonky lineup. Got our B team coming in a little bit because Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Eloy was out for some time, but he's back now. I don't know, just not a good time. Injuries galore, and I'm not a fan of it. I see a couple of these guys need to step up, and yeah, it's mostly just bullpen. This bullpen is killing us. The starters are doing their absolute best. Dylan Cease, I know Michael Kopech's just getting only brutalized on home runs. If that's basically it, he's only giving up home runs. But it's still bad. Yeah, obviously it's still bad. Giving up 6 or 7 home runs like he already has in 3 starts, not good. But Dylan Cease is going out there and absolutely shelling teams. Just they have no chance against him. And Giolito kind of turned it around a little while ago, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's just
Yeah, I
not
will
good.
say he has 7 strikeouts right now. It's the top of the fifth. He's been
Yeah,
doing good.
yeah, that's nice to hear. So just being able to bounce back, that's good. But again, when you don't feel confident being able to turn over to your bullpen, that's where it's going to die. And if the White Sox offense isn't as prominent as it has been, that just shows that the game's going to be done by the fourth, fifth, or sixth inning. So
Hmm.
that just goes on it right now. I wish I had more, but it's going to be more and more just depressing stuff. If I can flip to any sort of positivity, Jake Berger. Jake Berger is absolutely mashing baseballs over the fence. So I keep doing that, and I hope he stays up even when Moncada comes back in some sort of capacity. We might have to be cutting ties with some of these guys just sometime soon if
Hmm.
we're. I don't know. Hopefully we are not selling by the trade deadline. I mean, I'm already April 18th. We're not even 20 games in this season where I'm already talking about being sellers into the trade deadline. So uh, more on that. Again, that's maybe just me being so negative because we've had just such a rough start. When we're having
Yeah.
must win games, when you're labeling games must win and it's early April, not good. Not a good start. So anything on your end on the White Sox, anything I didn't really touch upon.
I don't think they've won a series yet this
They have
year.
not.
So that's not good.
They have not won a series yet. Still have the potential. They could win today and win tomorrow, but as you were, like I said, when you go over the list, we've played the Twins, we played the Pirates already. The Orioles are tough go, sure, but
Thank God, yeah.
we should have beat the Pirates. Why didn't we beat the Pirates? I don't know. Probably think we didn't have a series against the. It's
It's
all right.
just saddening, yeah.
It's
It's
just
sad
so
to even
dark.
talk about.
Yeah, trying to remember, and it's so dark and bleak, and I don't want to.
The other day, which game was it? I think it was against the Pirates. They were up 4-0 they scored 4 runs in the first, and then they completely blew it. Was that the
That was
Pirates
the
or
Orioles. That was the
Orioles?
Orioles. They
Okay.
were up 4-0. I think they were tied 4-4, and then they ended up losing 8-4.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
the White Sox. Oh,
I
the
just
White
remember
Sox.
me and my brother watching, like, there's nobody in guaranteed rate field. I was like, I've never seen it this empty. Like, people are just completely, but just like, I bet after they blew that lead, it's just like for sure. Like, there was a rain delay that game too. They were like, we're just getting the fuck
It's a
out of
tough
here.
go.
It's like we have
Chicago
no
works,
faith.
man.
Like, fans don't even have faith, and
I'll
like
give
they're
it to
not
the
gonna
fan
come
base.
back.
I think the Chicago White Sox fan base, they got work. They can't be hitting these daytime Wednesday 3 p.m. games. It's a tough go.
Hmm,
That's a tough ask. These giveaway games on Saturdays, that's going to be your sellout days.
that's
That's going to
true.
be
Yeah.
that's the guaranteed. There's your 32,910 right there. But yeah, I mean, I'm until they prove me otherwise that they are the. I mean, I don't. There's not a bunch of teams that end up doing that. There's not a bunch of sellouts on a Tuesday at 12 p.m. It's a tough
Yeah.
ask. But it should be more lively for sure. I won't be completely on the one side of somebody's they're just that everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. No, it's not just that. They need to do a little bit more for sure. Uh,
And one quick thing,
oh
just
yeah.
because it always pisses me off at guaranteed rate field. There's like nobody there. My brother said one of his friends were there, and he said they security like still wasn't letting people in the
Oh yeah.
100 section. Like
Oh
you have
yeah,
to sh
there's some tweet went viral or like that. It was just like, are you kidding me? It's completely dead in here. It's basically like a COVID restriction that just hasn't been lifted. And yeah,
It's just
sure
so
enough.
stupid because
Yeah.
there's people that can't go to the shops in there, and like there's better food in the 100 section.
Yes.
Like it's fucked up.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the big ticket item. They always show off on their Instagram. Something I was jokingly talking about this on at my Easter dinner or whatever. Just like, oh, the White Sox, they always got their big food, but I can never find it, so I just settle for helmet nachos every single time. It's a home run. It's a home run every single time. But I mean, I can't find the foot long hot dog or the burger on a stick or whatever it is
Burger on a
like a
stick.
fry, yeah, it's like a fried pickles or whatever. I don't know, whatever gourmet foods they seem to have. I can't find it because my cheap ass ends up in the 500 section most of sometimes. But they do a little bit better to accommodate up there. I know they got the two bar lounges up there in the 500 section yet. I haven't checked it out myself just yet, but I mean, yeah, it's one of the dumbest things for
I
sure.
understand, yeah, like if it's a really packed game or something, but like in that case, like come out,
Yeah.
man.
But I do, if I am an adult, if I do want something like they're like, oh, when they drop the jerseys, I made sure that I got 100 level ticket that day so I could just I mean, I didn't need to, but I could just get right in. And then as soon as I was done, I could just go right to my seat. I have all my stuff and I'm ready to roll. Just, if you really want to take the time and just spend the extra couple dollars and you can float around there. But I get it. It is very much a pain. It is very much a
Yeah.
pain. Ah, let's see. Yeah, like I said, let's get positive. Let's get a little loose. Let's get a little loose because we're gonna be getting a little loose at these Cubs games. They're gonna be selling some CBD drinks. Like I said, might as well
Mm,
get our 420 episode kicked off. Let's talk a
okay.
little Cubs talking. Cubs selling CBD drinks at Wrigley. In my mind, it's gonna make the games a little bit more tolerable. But that's just
Mm-mm.
me. I mean, again, I'll
The
argue that
Cubs are doing better than us right
yeah, that's
now,
true.
man.
They are having some exciting times over there. It's okay. I think they took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers of all teams, so that's cool. I even battled them down to I think that it had to be a walk off for the Dodgers whatever game they won, game 2. Let's see,
Yeah, considering they won a series against the Dodgers and we haven't even won a series. We couldn't even win a series against the Pirates.
yeah,
Like,
they're
come
playing
on.
some inspired baseball. I didn't really necessarily count them out. I just jokingly in our group chats, I'm always gonna say, yeah, the Cubs suck. They're awful and they're bad. But no, I mean, the Cubs are gonna be
The
competitive
people they
until they're
got in the
not.
off season are doing well, and I mean, yeah, they're just playing very well right now.
Yeah,
So
I think
the
they're just
obvious
playing relaxed and loose baseball. They're having fun. That's just there seems to be some sort of dark, tense cloud in the White Sox dugout or whatever it is in that clubhouse, and everyone just seems to be nice and loosey goosey over at the Cubs over at Wrigley. And it might be these CBD drinks.
yeah,
And they're
they've been
dipping.
testing them out
Yeah, I
before they
think
released
so.
it to the public.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe just go a little testing over there at Wrigley Field over there, Rob Manfred. Let's see. In my mind, better than any pot or melatonin or Xanax, I think the Cubs broadcasting team they'll put you out to sleep anytime soon. So I guess a combination of the CBD drink and maybe just putting the Cubs radio on or something like that. That'll just you'll be out in
Mm,
15 minutes. Either way, I think that seems pretty good. I won't knock it till I try it. Maybe it'll actually get me into Wrigley.
wow.
That's a stretch. It's probably not. I'm probably not going to get over there. I'll
Hmm.
probably just ask for someone's. Bill can do a taste test. He can tell us how it is. I think that's going to be a good one. Or Kyle guy. Usually he likes to step in there with his White Sox gear. He has no problem doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cubs. They're getting cooler, I guess. They're not so dweebish, I suppose. Selling their CBD drinks. It could be THC, but that's neither here nor there. CBD being sold at Wrigley. How you doing? Not done
I'll
with the
take
Cubs just
two.
yet. I'll have what she's having. Uh, Marlins and Cubs series coming up April 27th and 29th. That's going to be down in Florida, but they're celebrating the weekend with Bartman Appreciation Weekend. If you remember, Steve Bartman, the catch and hell guy, caught the foul or attempted to catch the foul ball and essentially screwed up the 2003 series for the Cubs. But they seem to forget
Wasn't
that
his fault.
yeah, they blow over the error that happened afterward and the error that happened afterward and the seven straight runs that occurred after that. But yeah, it was
Yeah,
that guy
the
going for the foul ball. It was all his fault.
the
Yeah, okay.
error by Gonzalez blew it completely. I was watching a video on it the other day because I was just curious about it because I saw that post
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm not too familiar with all their names, but I think his name was Gonzalez, and I saw that he could have had a double play, completely bobbled it after that, and then that's when everything just started to get really bad.
Yep.
And so I hate that they blame it on him like it's completely. I mean, obviously that wasn't good,
Yeah.
not a good thing to
It
do,
didn't
but
help. I mean, Jesus, I always the
because you also
outfielder.
you don't know if he would have caught that ball. Like you don't
That's
know if he would
exactly
have
what I was
caught
just
it.
about to
Like
say too. He claims that he could have caught it, and then there's the documentary and from ESPN, Catching Hell. If you got the time, go ahead and check that one out for sure.
mm,
Uh, when they do a almost like sports science deep dive, they do different angles and they take away the people from from the stands. They
mm,
think that the ball would simply plop right into his glove from where he was at. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, there's no.
mm.
You can spin zone it any which way. That's simply not going to happen, and you can't be the what if. Like you're going to rely on what if. Like, oh, what if we played with no fans in the stands in
Yeah.
2003? Okay, man, let's just do that. I mean, 20 years later, they were doing exactly that with COVID, but uh, that's neither here nor there. Uh, yeah, you can't rely on. They ruined this guy's life. Simply, he wasn't able to be. He couldn't show his face. Again, that documentary goes deep diving in that. Just he had to be like he was basically underground the entire time.
Wow.
Just had to be police escorted on his way out. Death threats constantly. They found out who he was. He just changed everything. Ruined this guy's life because of a foul ball. And you guys you're big babies. So there you go. That's why I
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
so messed up.
that's why everyone's like, "Oh, this is stupid." You want to know what was stupid? Hating on this guy for so long. So yeah, there you go. So I think you can poke a little fun at Bartman Appreciation Weekend. Have fun, Florida. I think that's I think that's beyond funny. That's just
It
there's good
is.
there's good trolling and there's bad trolling. This is good trolling beyond belief. So there you go. Um, let's see. From pot to alcohol, kinda, because we just had that little Bartman thing in between. There's a turd in the punch bowl. Alert, alert! There's a turd in the punch bowl. Matt
Mm.
Strahm of the Phillies, who we're going up against. I don't know if he's pitching today, but he thinks selling alcohol past the eighth inning, something I talked about last week while you weren't here. The Brewers brought this up. They're going to be selling beer past the seventh inning, which is
I did
the
see that.
original rule. Now going to the eighth because these games, like we just said, they're going an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 50. Let's get a couple more dollars. Matt Strahm doesn't think that's such a good idea. I think he may have had one too many of his last performance, going 2 1/3, giving up 3 runs to the Reds. But that game finished 13-0 because they had to go so deep into their bullpen. So I don't
Hmm.
know. At the end of the day, it's like anything, people need to be an adult. If they think they've had one too many, stop. But truly, I don't think 20, 30 minutes is really going to be that big of a deal. And you also got to consider a couple other things like tons of local transportation, Ubers, designated drivers. If you're like anything in Chicago, you got the trains right there. You got the everything right between the metro and the CTA, all different routes to get home. And at the end of the day, just about anywhere, parking lots are still a shit show. So you still got another 20, 30 minutes to get sober while you're in the parking lot after a game. So just
Yes.
get on home. So it truly, be an adult. Be an adult. I don't really know what else to get to. If you really want to cry and moan about, oh, they're selling alcohol a little bit later, I understand. Everyone's had someone that's been affected by drunk driving, whether that's a loved one being taken away or just being seriously injured. I'm not going to downplay that stuff can happen. But again, at the end of the day, just like anything, if you're going out to have any sort of alcoholic beverage, you need to have some sort of responsibility, and whether that's them calling last call a little bit later, a little bit earlier, you got to be ready. That's simply put. So I don't know. Focus on the game, dude. That's all I'll really say about that.
Wow.
Anything on Matt Strahm? Uh,
I don't know. I understood where he was coming from, I felt like, but I also can understand what you're saying. I would hope that people are responsible enough to know when to stop, but yeah, it's just
I
I feel
mean,
like
but
he had good intentions with
yes,
what
of
he was
course, of course,
saying,
and
but
I don't want dog on him for that. It was coming from like a hey, people don't take initiative, but at the end of the day, we probably shouldn't be selling alcohol at all. It probably shouldn't be legal in any sort of sense. Like, what really benefit does it have? Really, nothing. So I don't know. So it just seems to be something that's there. You can throw all the stats at it that it takes lives away from this, that, and the other. If it's that really detrimental, just take it away altogether. But we're not going to do that. So again, it really comes down to being an adult. Be an adult. Be an adult.
yeah, they tried to do that already, and then that didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, it's exactly that. So I don't know. Speaking of being an adult, I was gonna save this one for last, but I think it's a nice transition. You didn't hear about this. Yeah, I was asking about you early on. Anthony Bask in this popcorn situation and against United Airlines. Again, you didn't hear
hmm,
nothing about this, did you?
no,
So Anthony Bass is a relief pitcher for the Blue Jays. He went ahead.
okay,
He went ahead. He was away with the team, but he posted on his own Twitter that United Airlines stewardess, I believe that's how you would say it, told his 22-week pregnant wife to pick up after his daughter, his 5 and 2-year-old daughter, had spilled popcorn on the ground. That was it. They simply asked. There's no context as to how the interaction was. There's no video. There's simply just the picture that Anthony Bass took. He wasn't even there. He was away with the team. This is what the mother was able to capture. Just popcorn on the ground. And again, not crazy. It's not like when Benny the Bull goes in between the stands and he throws. He wasn't doing that. There's just a little bit of skinny pop on the ground and so on and so forth. I don't have children. I've been I've been around children. I was a summer camp counselor for X amount of years, so I know kids can get messy, but 5-year-olds still respond to, "Hey, clean that up." So I'm not going to be the guy that says be a better parent, but you be a better parent. You need to pick up after your child. If you're pregnant, I get it. You know, it's tough. The whole idea of like I'm on my hands and knees, and he got ratioed so hard on that Twitter post. It was like, again, probably in the tens of thousands now of of tweets to only like a couple thousand likes
I'll have
to
to
it.
look that up.
Yeah, actually, I find out from earlier just listening in on this. A bunch of people went to town on this. The ESPN, the 670 The Score, and the Barstool show that I watched in the morning. Just all at a field day. I find out that the mom is actually more famous than Anthony Bass. She has more followers because she's somehow related to the. She's the sister of the excuse me, she's the sister of the wife of Eric Decker. Hopefully that makes sense. She's Eric Decker's wife's sister, so she has more followers because she's some sort of influencer in some sort of sense. So I don't, this is just all sorts of bonkers. I'm
I
gonna
just saw
say,
the picture.
yeah,
Wow.
dude. And I mean, it's so, and he's going back and forth with other parents and stuff like that, like quote retweeting them and just saying like, if I'm a mom, I know what to do. I pick up after my two little gremlins. I know what, like, it's, I get it. At the end of the day, like, you need to do that. uh and it's just like, wow, I guess you're parent of the year or whatever. It's just like, dude, what? No,
Yeah.
it's literally like, wow, like, hey, look at me, I had to be a parent. And it was it's so gnarly, so bonkers. And just like, that, like, what would it be, the breakaway from like just middle class type living and like a higher class type living. It's just different, showing your class, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a good look. And also, the first thing you see when you look up Anthony Bass, probably is going to be this story now because it's so popular. But also, his ERA is like 7, so this not a good look. You know, team's not going to see. He's 35 as well, a 35-year-old relief pitcher with a 7.7 ERA. Not looking like a good resume right now. You can turn it around, still early in the season, I'm sure, but the Astros broadcast booth had a good one. As soon as he came in the same night or the next day, he's like, "Oh, Anthony Bass here to clean this one up." So I thought that was pretty good. You know, there's still cheaters, those Astros guys, but the broadcast booth is a pretty good joke right there. Either way, Anthony Bass, clean up after your kid, dude. I don't care. That's. I mean, it was, again, wasn't a crazy mess. It wasn't something to get fed up about.
No.
But at the end of the day, that is your no. This, it's not their responsibility. It wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. It's everyone had their fucking 2 cents about it. I mean, that's just mine. It's literally that. And yeah, I'm not gonna tell them to not take their children. You need to travel with your children, but you also need to be ready to take the responsibility to clean up after them. So
Mhm.
take care of your little monkeys, your little monsters, your little gremlins, whatever you want to call them. That's what. Yeah, I was always called a little monkey. I was like, yeah,
I'm a
little
little
monkey.
monkey. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just stuff like that. Just, yeah, clean up after your kiddos. A little, yeah,
Yeah, it
exactly.
shouldn't
Little
make a
gremlin.
big deal out of that.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. Why would you even post that? Why? Why are you opening yourself up to be just spiked down by the Twitter trolls of the world that are just gonna eat this alive? Yeah, there you go. If you, yeah, not that bad, not that bad. And
There's
then,
the
like,
popcorn.
yeah, and the only one I didn't like was he post, like, later at night he posted a follow up of her just having a popcorn bag in her hand. I'm like, dude, don't try and make your kid like the front runner, the spokesperson for this. They got nothing. They got nothing to do with this. This is you. This is
Yeah, this
all
is
your
all you,
crazy.
my
This
dude.
is you and your wife's crazy. Don't put this on them. So either way, that's that's that with Anthony Bass. If you're good on that one, I wanted to finish off just positively. I just want to, so I always want to finish off the segments on a positive note. Rays, they started 13-0, their best start in modern era since 1900. followed it up with 2 losses. So, I'm sure Rays fans were freaking out and podcasts were ringing bells and calling for everything else. But, second best start to a season since the 1884 St. Louis Maroons. They started 20-0, but not really fair comparable when they were just throwing out mailmen and shoe shiners. So regardless, 20 straight wins, 13 straight wins. Whoever your opponent is, I think it's impressive. The Rays at the time, they had a series against the A's and the Tigers and whoever else. But, if it was, so easy to do, this would happen every single year, and it doesn't. So good on them. Very much impressive. Basically, 2 straight weeks, 2.5 weeks of winning for those guys. So that was pretty cool. They're going to start off hot. They always do. They always seem to niche their spot anywhere between winning their division or just getting a wild card spot. So, I mean, that's making the playoffs. The Rays are there. They're consistent. That's where it's at. Anything on the Rays, anything on their start, any other interesting facts about the St. Louis Maroons, maybe? I don't know. Anything on that.
I wish I did. That sounds like a fun team name.
Yeah. I like when they pulled up just like an image, just an old black and white image. I was just thinking like that could be anybody. Like they could just throw out any picture of anybody. They could just throw out a caricature if they really wanted to of these teams from the 1800s. Like who's gonna prove that's who. I'm sure there's of course there's a bunch of baseball nerds that have all the archives, but the onlooker like myself, you could just put up anybody. You could put up like Scooby-Doo with a ball cap on and be like, yeah, there you go, from the Connecticut Sunflowers. And he's like, there you go. I don't know. There you go. That's baseball. That's about it. Hopefully, hopefully turn around and get a little bit more positive on the White Sox end because it's looking okay. Like you mentioned, looking okay on the Cubs side, and they're toking up, getting a little stony baloney on the north side. Hopefully, we get some wins. I just want just get nice and relax and get some wins on the south side. So that's what we want. If you're good on that, we can go and dip on over to the NBA, where the first round kicked off, play-on tournament concluded, and we got a couple other fun things to talk about as well in there. So, ready to dive on in? Awesome possum.
Let's do it.
There you go. Bulls win their play-in game. They were the first 10 seed to win since the league started this little play-in tournament. Later on in that day, OKC did follow it up, beating New Orleans. But of course, the Bulls, just for the sake of time, they were the first 10 seed to win. So not a boo-boo, stake your head in doo-doo, OKC, but we're both in the same spot right now. We went ahead, took care of the Raptors. It wasn't because of Zach LaVine's 39. It wasn't because of Pat Bev's defense and him being so pesky on that side. It wasn't because of DeMar's mid-range, his sharpshooting there. It was all DeAr DeRozan, DeMar's daughter, single-handedly defending 18 free throws not being made, allowing the Raptors to only shoot 50% from the foul line that night. All the shouts, everything. They shook these grown men to their core. This young lady yelling during their free throws. So she truly is the MVP. You can't take that away from her. The only thing, following up the next day, she unfortunately didn't make it to Miami, which ultimately probably was the reason why the Bulls lost. I did like why what ESPN posted. They put a picture of her and they said, hold on, I want to get it right. They just had like DeAr DeRozan in parentheses, school is out tonight or something like that. So I thought that was funny just because obviously, yeah, she got out early on the night to be up in Toronto. You used to live there, obviously, when DeMar was on the Toronto Raptors early on in his career. So she thought that was a fun little like, hey, throwback, Dad. Let me go back and do all the fun stuff back in Toronto. So unfortunately again wasn't able to get another day off on Friday and go down to Miami. But
damn it,
that's okay. The first round is the right to get swept by the Bucks, but Miami did win their first game against the Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo going down. But we'll get to a couple more first round, dipping our toe into all the things that went around that.
Wait, can I say something before?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're still talking Bulls.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to just kind of deviate to something
Oh
real
sure,
fast.
no, go ahead.
Just that I have the Sox on.
Oh yeah.
It says that we have a no hitter alert here for the
Oh.
Sox. It is about to be the end of the seventh inning, and there's a no hitter alert for the White
Oh.
Sox.
Okay. I might have to take a quick break, and I might have to switch the TV on over there if I have to. That's
And
okay.
Andrew Vaughn just made a great play at first base to keep it alive.
Love hearing that. Absolutely love hearing that. Nothing better than a guy like Lucas Giolito getting it either. Let's see. Yeah,
Come on.
still on the Bulls, still on the Bulls. Yeah, they had like I said, good go coming back. They were down 19 in the play-in game, able to
Yeah.
come back and win. So that was phenomenal. One of those like nice little games, of course. We thought Zach LaVine would have back to back nice little games. Kind of shot us out of the second game. Uh, a couple other decisions. Kobe White being benched when he was so hot for Patrick Williams for defensive reasons when it didn't matter anyways. When the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, we just got absolutely cooked by that one kid. I don't even know what it was. So that one guy on the Heat, whoever had the most points, gonna have his career game against
Oh,
the Bulls, of
here.
course. Yeah, exactly.
Strauss, right?
Strauss. There you go.
Strauss.
Yeah, yeah. So he's gonna have his career game, probably never better. He won't have another better game against any other team ever than he did against the Bulls in the play-in game.
Former Bull.
Oh, former Bull,
I
didn't know
looked it
that.
up. I saw he was a former Bulls.
Boy, that stings. That stings even more. I'll tell you that much.
He
Let's see.
cooked us up. I was watching that whole game, and he was unstoppable. I mean, he kind of got a little cold throughout like the third quarter. The first half he was unstoppable, and then the fourth quarter he was making threes. Jimmy Butler was cooking, and I just knew we were completely cooked. We were up by 6, I think it was with like a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they had it in the bag, but typical. It was vintage Bulls. Completely blew it. Zach
Yeah.
LaVine taking fadeaway threes when we like just get a possession, no time to develop a play, taking just stupid shots. It's like a rinse and repeat every
Yeah.
year. And now it's another off season of, and what do we do now? What's next?
Yeah, they're talking. I mean, obviously, we got Levine locked up for some time. Vooch might be walking, and of course, we've given away 2 first rounders, Wendell Carter, and probably think something else along the way for that.
Wow.
We might be extending a 35 going on 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan. See how that goes. I mean, he's proven we've seen the ceiling. We know what we're gonna get out of him. So hopefully we just don't overpay. I know we're gonna have to pay what we have to, but
Yeah, I mean, if he likes it here and it's not that expensive, I mean, stay on the team. I mean,
yeah,
he's the monster of the mid range, man.
yeah. I like that. He'll still do his best. And I mean, I hated on him, but of course Kobe White's gonna show up and show out, so he'll probably get an extension. So he'll be here for longer. We need a guard. We need a guard so bad. And I would I hope my little rant about Lonzo isn't misconstrued that I was like hating on him for getting injured. You can't control that, obviously, I know,
Yeah.
but it is just frustrating when you put so much into it. It just you haven't been able to get anything out of this guy. Hopefully, but I'm also like, hey, he can turn it around, but obviously the medical reports say otherwise. I'm just wishing the best for the guy. Yeah, it's a tough one. Uh, oh, I'm looking through my notes. The only thing that I had more on the Bulls was just the nasty way that the internet responded. Of course, I mean, why? How else would they respond in a positive way by with flowers and congratulations? Nah, Bulls fans crowned her as MVP, Dr. DeRozan, but pissed off Raptors fans and soon to be just always disgusting Heat fans were ready to pounce on her, just threatening her online with all sorts of ways. The only thing that was redeeming, the only thing that was nice, that was actually like, oh, this is how, like, there's good ways to troll or bad ways. And again, like how we kind of like how we mentioned earlier, the Heat organization had a funny little thing, like a nose screaming zone, like with the mascot putting his hands over his ears. But then, like I said, there's tons of fans on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere else, probably threatening a, I don't know, 10, 12-year-old. I don't know
They
how old she
were.
is.
She was
just
receiving death threats.
that's not good. That's just gross. That's disgusting. I don't know.
Cheers
How
to
do you
you,
type that?
Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. Stay classy, Toronto. Stay classy, Miami. Whoever seems to be throwing these out. I'm only just saying that, assuming because that's who we played and we're going to play. So, but
Yeah,
you can
I
be from
saw
anywhere.
some posts that since we eliminated the Raptors, there were like Raptors fans like sending death threats to her or something.
That's yeah,
It's
so
so
fucked,
fucked up.
so fucked. Not cool. Not what we do. That's not how fans react. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, that was just the fallout from that. Hopefully the Bulls are able to follow it up with something good over the offseason. I hated on it or whatever, but Pat Bev seemed to be a benefit, and good on him. He took the harder route, was able to accomplish more on him, and showed more of something that's him than if he just took the easy route. He said he was between Golden State and the Bulls. He wanted to go with the Bulls because he wanted to be like, hey, I took these guys to the playoffs, not Curry, Draymond, and Clay. I took the Bulls to the playoffs. That's what he wanted to say. So, again, good challenge and good on him.
He
Hopefully he has
helped.
hopefully he hasn't yeah, hopefully he has another chance at it. I'm not gonna be upset. Also, extend Draymond or Andre Drummond, excuse me, not Draymond, Andre
Yeah,
Drummond.
he played way better than he was in the game for like 8 minutes, and he was way better than Vooch.
Yeah,
So
he would be in there half the time and have just as much, if not more, than Vucevic every single time. I would look at the
you
box
could
score
even
every
argue
time.
we might win that game if Andre Drummond's in for longer. The way he was getting those boards, which is what the Bulls always constantly
He
struggle with.
dominates. He dominates on the boards. He's so underrated. The fact that he comes off the bench, it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I got nothing else on the Bulls. Again, just more
Yeah.
more negativity. Just more negativity.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else, but yeah, it's more, yep. It's just another year of, oh, maybe next time. Let's see what happens in the off season, and we're
Yeah.
probably not going to sign anyone notable.
I'm sick of
And
hearing the same old songs every single time, every single off season, the same old sayings. Oh, maybe exactly that. Maybe next year. Can't wait for that free agent. Maybe we'll trade for him.
yeah, there's always going to be some report or
Yeah,
something like Anthony Davis might be traded,
exactly.
like
With
just
this
some like out of just just something random.
insert superstar who has no chance of signing with us. Oh, he has the slimmest chance of signing with us because he's got a fourth cousin that goes to school outside of the city or something like that. Like, oh yeah, that's why he's gonna come for sure. Yeah, can't wait for that. That's the
Yeah,
Bulls.
it's
That's what we got looking forward to. There you go. Round one excitement, besides,
oh,
for those that were actually able to get in there, kind of a little chalky off the top of my head. I think 76ers are up 2-0. That's a given as of now. I think Boston and Atlanta are going at it, but that can be like a 1-1, 2-0 series. The one that's, the one more exciting ones are currently 2-0 Sacramento over Golden State. I believe the 4-5 and the other 4-5 series on no, that's not a 4-5 series, that's a 3-6 series. 4-5 series on the east side. The Knicks and the Cavaliers. I think that can go pretty deep as well. That was pretty exciting. That was another dog winner right there. Lakers, I just talking about this while they're the lower seed, uh, going up against a less experienced Grizzlies team without Steven Adams, and now John Morant goes down. Ugh,
there.
they might be done a little early. This was the Nuggets. They're gonna get through Minnesota no problem, but after that, they're not. It's not like they're gonna be like contenders in my mind. And then Sacramento has a good chance, but Golden State they were the worst road team of all this year. So they're still the Golden State Warriors. The series, I believe, is still
Going
like,
back to Golden State now.
yeah,
So I
this might
will
be a
say it's been
legacy
cool.
game.
The first round, the first game, 5 out of the 8 series, I think underdogs won. So that's It's cool. I'd like to see that these teams can fight, and we'll see what happens in these series. I had the Kings winning the series. I thought it was disrespectful that they're plus 220, and I said this on the podcast, to win the series, and they're the fucking 3 seed, and the Golden State's the 6 seed, and they're the worst team on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Kings just, I mean, the first game was close, but the second game, not so much. They kind of came away with it near the end there, and I don't know if the Kings steal one in their home stadium, it's not looking good for them. And I
They
saw the Warriors are 0-9 when are down 2-0 in playoff series. So
damn.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to see what they. I mean, we know it's Steph Curry's the greatest point guard ever. Klay Thompson is great, and fuck Draymond though. I just gotta say, the other night he just stepped on Sabonis. that did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't catch
That
it
was
live. I caught a
just
replay of it. That was, I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to defend him. It's a tough way to come down. I'm not going to defend him or flip it on the other way. I really don't mind. He's just when it just piles up like this for him, when he's constantly in the light of controversy, it's hard to be like, it's hard to be on his side or any which way. I did like his response. It's like, do you, the reporter was like, do you think Sabonis was like, well, basically was he justified like being down on the ground so long? He was like, yeah, I came, yeah, I like basically was like, it's just asserting that like I stepped on him. I came down on him. And whether it was whether it was intentional, or he's a big boy. He's like almost, I think he's like 250, almost like that. So
hmm.
aren't little guys. That's going to be a tough one. I think I hope Sabonis is okay.
Oh yeah.
They both got techs. I would be super surprised if Draymond got suspended for this though.
No,
Yeah,
that
so
won't
that's a
happen.
little, that would be a little out there. That would be a little crazy. And being that this game 3, game 1, 3, 5, and 7 usually are the most important games, the pivot points in series and stuff like that, coming in on game 3, where either you're gonna set yourself up to go 2-2, or you go down 3-0 and you pray to Christ that you don't get swept in the first round. So that's what's looking like in Golden State land. I think this is an absolute legacy series for Golden State's dynasty, for Curry in general. Like we've mentioned, that we've never really seen down 0-2, and when they are, like you said, they're 0-9 in series. Is that what the stat
Yeah.
was? Go down 0-2, and if they're able to flip it now, and just not for the sake of me looking right or anything, but just the idea that they did that would be very impressive, and already add to the Hall of Fame legacy that is a part of Steph Curry's career. So I think
Oh,
that
if
would be
they
pretty
can come
cool.
back from this, oh,
I'm not completely putting it out of that realm of impossibility. If you go on sportsbooks right now, if you go on Bet Rivers, sign up on bit.ly/no sub bets. You can go ahead and do that and check up on some the futures or the series winners of the NBA. I think right around plus 130, the Golden State Warriors are still plus 130 to win the series. If you want to sprinkle a little bit,
wow.
it's flipped finally, but it's not hit the plus 150 or plus 200 mark just yet. They haven't flipped just yet. It's still a little close. A little
It all
close.
depends on this game. I mean, that's it. It
Absolutely.
all depends what happens with this next game.
Absolutely. I think this game 3 is going to be, obviously, like I said, it's a lot of people are going to say this is the most important game. This game 3 is going to be the
It
the
really is.
the statement of the series for sure. Let's see, Clippers and the Suns. That was also one of
One
the
game.
upsets too. Russell Wilson.
Russell
I,
Wilson.
I thought that guy, or excuse me, Russell Westbrook.
So
Russell
I knew
Westbrook.
what you were talking
No,
about,
no, no,
but
good. That's good. I would that would have blown right past me if I was by myself. Just
getting in the face of a fan again.
yeah,
Watch your mouth.
I thought he was in someone's living room. That was I didn't know that that's like a suite that's basically like you have to go. I think you have to go past that to get to the locker rooms or something like that. That was crazy. The guy's like eating his food.
Yeah, the kid is just eating pizza or
The
something, and
kid's like
then
playing Legos or whatever. He's on an iPad. The guy's making a
it's
steak and
Russell Westbrook's like, "Watch your mouth, motherfucker!" I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my
That was
god!"
so gnarly. That was so bonkers. Again, like yeah, that was a crazy celebration. Good for him. I mean, he shot 3 for 17, but the block and then the being able to throw the ball off Devin Booker as Devin
That was
Booker was
awesome.
complaining about a potential foul call. That's why this league is so soft. You gotta play it to the whistle, my
Where's the
guy.
phone?
You gotta play to the whistle. So that's Devin Booker's fault. If it was a foul or a no call, you play to the whistle. You fucked up, Devin, on
And
that
you
one.
know, Russell Westbrook shoots 3 for 19, but everyone's going to remember that last play. If
Yeah,
depending on how this, and if they somehow win this series, that could be like it's like
that would be pretty crazy. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
think
say,
that
yeah,
they
I don't
don't.
think
I
so.
don't think they'll win the
They match up
series.
really well. The Clippers are deep in their bench, but just the sheer talent of having Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul out there
And
is
I don't think Kevin Durant even. I don't think he shot. They were saying last game, or like he didn't really
no,
shoot that much. So
nope.
I mean, you got to get him going more. And
I mean, Kawhi Leonard's just a glove. He covers you, and I mean, he's basically the only person that can shut down like LeBron James. So he's gonna basically do the same thing and just shadow Kevin Durant and be all over
it's
him
playoff
like a
Kawhi.
fat guy on food. So it's just that's how it's gonna be. I'm looking at your background. I'm kind of trying to figure out
Real
any.
fast to
Yeah,
all us
sure.
Sox fans out there. Aaron Bummer blows the no
Oh,
hitter in 2 pitches
makes
as
sense.
he's on the mound.
Totally makes sense that it'd be Aaron Bummer. As long as we get the win, that's all
My
that
brother was so
matters.
funny. It's like you can't have a name like Aaron Bummer and be this bad. It's like it's just too easy. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's a bum.
Yes,
You're a
absolutely.
bum and your name is Bummer.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving with these guys with these names. Let's keep
And bring
going.
your dog to the park May 2nd.
Bark at the park? Is that coming up? Oh, can't wait for that.
Reserve a
Let's
space
see.
in the outfield with your pup.
If it's not Sox math, I'm not paying attention, Benetti. I think we basically covered just about every single series just so
Yeah,
far.
I mean, just like to go through it really fast. The Nuggets and Timberwolves. Nuggets already won game one.
Chalk.
Timberwolves probably don't have a chance in that
As much as I
series.
love my Timberwolves, no, I don't think so either. The altitude's going to get to them, and they're just too young. They don't have. I mean, they have Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, phenomenal. They need one more piece. They need Zach Levine back or something like that, or something like just someone
And
of
they're
that
not as
caliber.
focused. I saw in a post game conference, like Mike Conley was talking to someone. They're asking him about like just something about video games or
Oh
something,
Jesus!
and I saw like Cat came in and he was like, "Hey, we playing Call of Duty later, Mike? Like
Yeah,
you should be
exactly.
worried
The
about the
maturity level is not
playoffs."
there. And then of course the whole thing with Rudy Gobert and Carl Anderson, or was it Carl Anderson? Hopefully is he part of the Bullet Club? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Uh
think there's two. I think you're right though.
okay.
Yeah.
Either way, that whole them getting in a skirmish and Rudy Gobert just not being worth anything that they gave up all sorts of things for the future, and yeah, they're just not getting anything back for Rudy Gobert. Uh Yeah, I think that there's that. Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah,
series.
we
That
already went through
series,
Clippers, Suns, and
Bucks Heat
Suns.
again. Yeah, that was basically the only we kind of lightly
If
touched upon.
Giannis is out, the Heat might seal it, and it might be a big upset. We'll have to see what
I
happens.
Chris Middleton has the potential to do it, but it's gonna, of course. I mean,
I was if they don't have Giannis, they're any other team. I feel like the Bucks are just like the Bulls. Then if they don't have like, I
they
feel like like
they play 500 ball without Giannis. They are with like 27 games without him. They're like like 15 and 13 or something like that. They're yeah they're yeah
I
something
just
like
picture
that.
like Drew Holiday's basically like I mean no I I can't compare him to like Alex Caruso because he's way better than him. But just like defensively, like they've got good players, but it's just like we got DeRozan, Levine, and Vooch, but we still lose just because we don't
Yeah.
have that star player like Giannis, and he
I
literally
mean, Brooke
elevates them.
Lopez was up in the finale was one of the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year. It ended up being Jarrett
Yeah,
Jackson Jr. So congratulations to him. But yeah, they have good pieces, and of course, another former Bull. I'm gonna forget his name. He opens his eyes.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis.
They have
Bobby.
a good, yeah, they definitely have good players, but I feel like Giannis is just such
Oh,
that
without the
difference
best player
maker.
on the planet, yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna have a fall off a little bit for sure. So I mean, yeah, I think they can swoop in and steal maybe another game. Middleton, if he really puts on his hard hat lunch pail, I think he could, get them to the next round. But it's gonna be a tough one if they
And
got to
Drew
go.
Holiday's a baller.
Yes,
I've seen
absolutely.
him. She's had some really good games this season. So they can still do it by all means. But it can be even series now. It's not going to just be like, oh, the Bucks are just going to sweep them 4-0. Like it can be a fight now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh,
Cavaliers, Knicks won. I feel like this one will be a fun series.
yes. I
Jalen
don't want. Yeah, I don't
Brunson.
want to predict just yet because they could be so crazy with like, yeah, Donovan Mitchell can just score and go off and just take care of it, no problem. Or the
Mitchell scored
Knicks,
like 40 in
yeah,
the first
he's
game and they still lost. So
yeah, yeah. That
gonna
that
need
because
someone
that
to
Cavs
step
team isn't
up.
really that deep. That Cavs team isn't as deep as we thought. The Knicks, they're okay, but I'm trying to remember their guard, RG Barrett. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's atrocious. So if you got any sort of competent offensive play out of him, they would be a much better squad. But he struggles with only getting like 4 or 5 points. He's able to get 5, 6 assists and a couple of rebounds to help out, but you need to score. You got to put the ball in the beach basket. That's how you do it. That's how you score points. Uh, Let me see here. I think that's like I said, that
yeah,
might
it's
be
really
good with the
everything.
round.
76ers are gonna sweep the Nets and
Yeah, and Boston. I don't
this
know the score off
Boston's
the
gonna
top of my
sweep
head right
them.
now. I think yeah, they'll
They're
probably end up
already
taking
up
care of that.
2-0.
There you go. Let's see if
Or
we're good on
actually,
there.
are
The
they up
only
2-0? I don't
they're
know.
playing right now, so you can probably
Okay.
check the score right now. But yeah, as it is, the only other thing from there kind of sparked a little bit of an interest, a little bit of a questionnaire. I guess I'll throw at you. Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley, they had a little mini debate. Just it was kind of interesting because those two usually don't go at it. It's usually Charles and Shaq, or Kenny the Jet will say something smart to Shaq, and they'll go back and forth. It's never really Ernie Johnson, and he's kind of just there to spin around and be the host and stuff like that. But they mini, like I said, I won't for the sake of clickbait. They didn't go at it, but they were having an argument. They were having a discussion of whether or not it was more beneficial for a team like the Lakers to basically more or less test their luck with a quote unquote easier opponent or easier route to the championship by playing through the play-in tournament, or counter guaranteeing a series by being a lower seed like the 6 or the 5 seed, and you have to play a much better opponent or something like that. I was falling more on Ernie Johnson's side of get a guaranteed series, and it could be something exactly like the Clippers and Phoenix, where you steal one early, or Giannis stubs his toe. He goes out with a back contusion, but the Bucks stub their toe, and Miami's able to steal one. So you got it both ways. You got them. You're able to get. They were able to make the argument for both sides. I would still go with the guaranteed seed. What would you say?
Yeah, I would agree with the guaranteed seed. I don't see why you would want to play two games and then have to play two completely different teams and then have to play that top number one seed
Yeah,
in a
it just
seven
seems
game
so
series.
complicated, and it exactly was. You had that small inkling, that chance of, oh, I could lose this first playing game and not even be in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and
I
it
mean, if
happened
you're the
exactly
10th, or I
last
mean,
year.
yeah, then you got to play another playing game.
Yeah,
If you're a really bad seed like we were, then you got to win another one, and then you got to play 7 game series with the number one, the best team in
yeah,
your conference. So
yeah. Again, one small move, wrong connection, and Anthony Davis and LeBron could have been sitting on their couch right now, and it's just yeah, that you of course you always want. There's always one game. You always got to win games. There's always gonna be someone tougher ahead of you, and no matter what, if you're gonna get in these next 7 game series, you're gonna go up against the best of the best if you want to win a championship. But yeah, just to sit there and to say like to just in your mind claim that's going to be the easier route. I get what he was saying, and his argument was when you're on the squad, you know who you want to play, you know who you're better matched up against and stuff like that. You probably have a better game plan against the Houston Rockets than you would up against OKC. I know obviously both these teams are out of the playoffs, but just naming teams for the sake of naming teams. Exactly that. I get where he was coming from, but to put yourself in that position where you get the seed, get a guaranteed 4 games for sure, 2 there, 2 at home for sure, and call and just roll the dice and play and try and test your luck, man. But again, you're really pushing it if you're gonna lose the first playing game, have to win the next playing game. You've already played 2 different teams, like you said. Now you got to set up for a third team, all within the same week, all within the 2-week span. That's a rough go. That's a bunch of traveling, a bunch of shit that you didn't want to do right there. So that sounds like a headache to me. I would go ahead, like I said, long way of saying I'm going to take the 6th seed. So there you go.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, it was just fun to see Ernie and Charles go, like I said, go at it a little bit, just to let the tie loose a little bit and let them get going. So I thought that was fun. There we go. There we go. I think that's NBA. That'll wrap that bad boy up. Like I said, nothing too much. Player awards were given out, but like I said, defensive player of the defensive player of the year went to Jarrett Jackson Jr. And you told me that most clutch player, voted on, I believe, by the players, went to De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings.
I believe so. Yes.
Most overrated went to Trae Young, if I wasn't mistaken. Let's see. Fun wrestling segment. You brought it up. You got him in the background. He's got eyeliner on for some reason, maybe, or maybe that's just the camera. Rob Van Dam hitting
also with Michael Phelps.
Oh yeah, he sparks it up too. You know it. We got a quick roll up or fight forever. For those who don't know, it's similar to, I don't know, a puff or pass, something you may have heard on your local radio or something like that. I got some topics. I got a ton of topics in the wrestling world. We probably can't hit every one of them. If we do, so be it. I want to throw this up to you. Of course, we'll be hitting the high spots of the week. Of course, talking all about CM Punk. We'll save that all at the end. We're going to do a quick roll up or fight forever. We'll call it puff or pass, or either which way, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I'll throw it. I'll simply name it out there. I'll name out the topic, and you can tell me if you want to deep dive into it. We can talk about it, or we can just pass it on to the next guy. So let's see. Let's ready for this one. Let's go. Dark Side of the Ring, Season 4, coming May 30th. Puff or pass? Quick roll up or fight forever?
Fuck. I just have only seen a couple episodes. I mean, puff it.
You'll puff it? Okay.
I want to puff it.
All right, cool. So simply season 4 coming out, 10 episodes, usually how they run on there on the Vice channel. We have 4 confirmed topics from the articles that have been written about it. Chris Candido and Sonny's complicated relationship will be one of the episodes. Magnum TA's car accident, and Abdullah the Butcher bio, and even one about the weirdo Marty Jannetty, former tag team partner of Shawn Michaels. Personally, it's one of my favorite shows. So, I mean, I love it. I'm, like we always mention, huge wrestling nerd, huge connoisseur, everything that's wrestling. Give it all to me any single time of the week. I'll take it in. But personally, I think it's fantastic because it's great for wrestling fans like myself who are, for lack of a better term, woke in the wrestling world and actually know what's going on and have done their homework and stuff like that. And I know the ins and outs. I've seen a bunch of documentaries, yada, yada, yada. It's good for those guys like myself. And it's just fun for people that are just into hearing craziness and drama and really anything. Like my brother's wife isn't a huge wrestling fan, but they'll watch it together because she just loves hearing the chaotic shit. Like, I can't think about it. The first season, the guy got stabbed to death in the locker room. It's just
Holy
yeah, exactly. So just stuff like that. You just hear bonkos type stories. The XPW, uh, that one was nuts. The New Jack episode. I personally, you throw that at anybody, they're probably gonna be like, "Holy crap!" That's wrestling was a secondary thing and all that. So I think that's still fun. Dark Side of the Ring coming up May 13th, May 30th. Anything on that?
Oh, that should be cool. I need to watch more of them because I mean, yeah, I do think they're really interesting, but I've only seen a couple of them.
Yeah, I
So
guess it's like I said, it's a little harder for you. I know you don't have the Vice
yeah,
channel, so
that's it. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't. I dipped the. I was able to get you in there, get you in for a couple episodes. I know you watched the Chris Benoit part 1, part 2. I believe you were
Yeah.
able to watch the New Jack episode that I mentioned to you as well.
Hmm.
So you've been able to hit some good ones for sure. I know Bill for sure was the same thing over the pandemic. He's like, what's to watch? I'm
I
like, have you
saw
ever
the
heard
plane
the
one.
Plane Ride from
Yeah.
Hell? Yeah, that one was a
Yeah.
good one. Ric Flair's a weirdo, dude.
Yeah. They're
But
really
yeah.
good. They're really
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely. The Montreal screw job very early on in that. It's in season 1. The Owen Hart one that always makes me tear up. Just tons and tons of stuff that they go over. And again, it's all entertaining, whether you're a wrestling nut like myself or if you're just completely out of it, completely out of the loop. It's pretty good. They get the production all good.
Hmm.
So there you go. That's Dark
Wow.
Side of the Ring coming up. All righty. Next topic. John Morrison wins a boxing match. John Morrison wins a boxing match. Puff, pass, quick roll up, fight forever. Oh, are you puffing on
I'm
that?
hoping
Oh, you're
on that.
puffing on that one. Okay. Wins by knockout. I forgot the Harley, whatever. The
Hmm.
guy, he used to be the Epic
Epic
Mealtime
meal
guy.
time.
Yeah, if you remember that one, that's a YouTube time capsule. Absolutely KO'd
They
him.
used to make some crazy shit.
Yes, they did. That was just bonkers. Yeah. Then he kind of turned in. Yeah, it was a weird fall from grace. He did the Epic Mealtime, and that fell through after a while. And then he tried to turn it into a video game page. Yeah, either way, now
I
he's a
think he was
boxer.
tired of like killing himself and getting obese
Eating
eating this stuff.
50,000 calorie meals. Are you sure you don't want to eat the world's biggest Big Mac? Made out of other smaller Big Macs. I get the lure. I understand. Mostly, obviously the John Morrison thing that was pretty cool. Seeing that, I like the John Morrison, aka Johnny Impact, aka Johnny this, Johnny that. He was. They throw out every
Oh,
other
is
of
that
his
what they
Johnny names.
said?
Yeah, it was in a post. I thought that was funny, but yeah, again, just showing the results from that. Overall, I kind of just wanted to talk about the event runner, iDubbbz. Man, he used to be one of my favorite YouTubers, and now he's just a cuck. Poor guy, just doing everything and anything that his OnlyFans girlfriend tells him to do. He's in my mind soft for not letting Froggy Fresh fight in this fight. Personal fan favorite over here was Froggy Fresh. And
Yeah,
just
I what
because he threw not even like probably like the smallest little jab about this, about having a girlfriend, having an OnlyFans type deal, it's just like, dude, you look so soft. And again, if you know who iDubbbz was and why he got famous for saying the certain words that I clearly couldn't repeat over here, again, it's kind of hard to be like, you're the one canceling other people slash saying, oh, you can't do that. That's bad behavior. That's a bad look, my guy. So not a fan of it. I don't know, and he's 0-2 now in these creator clashes that he puts together himself. So
it made me not want to buy it. I
yeah,
want Froggy Fresh. I was the most excited for. I was like him and John Morrison, and I saw what
the
happened the
dad guy
next.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Turning around, canceling it, and then he had to like repay the fee for training or something like that, and then making it look like it was like Froggy. It was just a whole ordeal, and again, all could have been avoided if iDubbbz wasn't a cuck. So
hmm.
I'll leave it at that. I don't remember. I don't know any other creator clash results. If you really were into that,
Yeah,
so
I'm
be it.
not.
But John Morrison, that's what we were looking forward to. And like I said, if Froggy Fresh had a match, we would have probably watched that too. But he didn't. There you go.
They fucked him.
Next one, Mickey James retires.
What?
Puff or pass?
Puff it.
You go puff it.
I'm
All right.
I'm getting hot as fuck.
I got nothing much on this. I thought you were gonna pass on this one, to be honest.
I didn't know she retired.
I
When
put
what?
meh just because she put the belt down and her boots in the middle of the ring during Impact Rebellion. Hey man, that's fine. I mean I'm just wasn't
Good
personally a
for
big fan.
her.
Good for her.
That was a quick toe.
That's a good one. That's a nice little wake and bake toke. Here's another one. Counter the retiring. Jeff Hardy is back. Puff or pass?
Pass it. We know.
There you go.
Don't
So
crash again.
there you go. That's that. That's exactly that. FTR reveals extension details. Puff or pass?
I've like it's like I mean I know about this stuff already,
Yeah,
so it's
no, it's
like
fine.
you
Yeah,
know
it's a
it's
quick
cool.
puff. It's a quick puff, anyways. That's fine.
They
They just
said they
said
announced they signed 4 years, and once their contract's over, they're gonna retire. They said
there
so.
you go. That's a quick puff. That's exactly that. Another one right here. Excuse me. Tommy Dreamer taking some time off as well. Puff or pass?
Pass. Why is he still wrestling?
Fair
Tommy
enough.
Dreamer.
Fair enough. Here we got another one. Omos is a big anime fan. Puff or pass?
Pass.
Okay.
What? I don't.
Drew McIntyre blacking out his Twitter photos. Puff or pass?
I guess I want to puff on this
There
because
we go.
he's
We're gonna
gonna
puff
be
on
in.
this one.
He's
I
gonna be in
mean,
Wembley.
yeah, that's the goal. That's the game plan. Apparently, Drew McIntyre and WWE not coming to terms just yet on a contract. Reportedly, very far away from the two numbers that are being thrown out. It would be a huge get for AEW if he was able to fall into their hands, especially if he was able to debut over in Wembley. So I think that would be, like you just said, a phenomenal get for AEW if Drew Galloway or whatever his other name was were to debut in AEW. How are you feeling on Drew McIntyre blacking out his pictures?
He's great. So if he decides that he wants to come to AEW, albeit, man.
Yeah.
The more the fucking merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the powerhouse in him, it's going to be a tough clash if it's like becomes WWE powerhouses versus, AEW powerhouses. What are they going to do when they put McIntyre versus Moxley? But I mean, we can cross that road when we get to it.
Yeah,
There'll be a big AEW uproar, civil war when the WWE guys come in and start getting more over than the AEW originals. Which I mean, Moxley's AEW, WWE. It don't matter. Everyone's everything. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That was that. Let's see. Cody going Hollywood. Puff or pass? Oh, I should have read it better. Cody going Hollywood? Question mark.
Fuck him.
I'm gonna puff it only because I thought I had a funny joke to go with it.
Let's puff it up.
Do we really need a Marine 10 with Cody Rhodes, or better yet, a Chaperone 2? I don't think so. Cody Rhodes to Hollywood? I'd rather watch Nick Cage steals the Da Vinci Code underneath the Statue of Liberty. I don't know.
Yeah, they need to get like John Cena, The Rock, and Cody like all to make like the worst movie ever.
The recreation of the A-Team or something like that. There you go. That's something I don't want to watch.
Them all in the Marine or something. They're all Marine.
Yeah, they're just called SEALs or something like that. Like a bunch of Navy SEAls. They're all good. They recreate Zero Dark 30 with all wrestling guys.
I'm in.
The Rock, Hulk Hogan, what's left of the Iron Sheik, Cody Rhodes, and John Cena all go in and kill Osama bin Laden, played by Jinder Mahal. Let's see. there was this other debate. There was tons of debates all the time, but this one going around: Sting versus Undertaker debate being popular on trending online. Puff or pass? The Sting versus Undertaker debate.
You could puff it, but I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
where that would possibly happen.
No, it wasn't really them actually going. It wasn't the debate of like, oh, who was gonna win in a fight. It's basically them tossing up of like who's had the better career, debating.
Undertaker.
That's where it all kind of that it gets a little hairy, and I still kind of lead towards Undertaker just because I think I've been more exposed to Undertaker matches and the legacy of the Undertaker. But can't take away the Stinger being so prominent over X amount of decades. I mean, he's been there since since the 80s when he was doing the beach days with him and Luger and him and the Ultimate Warrior. He was there. And then he had his stint in the 90s, and then mid 2000s he was doing Impact stuff, and he still had even a renaissance in 2010s as the Joker Sting, and now 2020 he's still rocking and rolling. So I won't sit here and debate which one is better. I'm gonna lean towards the Undertaker for the sake of the streak. Yes, it's not every match was a banger, but the streak was cool. The lore of the Undertaker, no one else was really like that. No one else had the build of the Undertaker or anything like that. I mean, it's not really. I don't think it's really like controversial to say that like it's literally 1A 1B. Like they're both good. They're both great. I mean, you can be great in two different lanes and not have to cross paths. It's possible. Would it be great if they did? Sure. Sure. But that ship has sailed and come and gone already. Even Sting even admitted it this past Dynamite. He's like, yeah, it's kind of the whatever the sunshine or whatever. The show's almost over for me. But then he turned it over to Darby like, what? It's over on him. It's back on him. Just so all around an okay promo. But yeah, I mean, like I said, anything with
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I again just everyone just getting so butthurt about it, just really showing their true characters and their true colors. Just I bleed WWE. Anything the Undertaker does was better than anything. You need to look at both ends. So, yes, while Impact wasn't the most glamorous of places to be, he still carried his own there. And Sting doing that, and of course, Undertaker can't take away him working 250 days out of the year in for like 5 straight years. That's basically
There's nothing like the
300 years.
streak, man.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, that's I
And
mean,
the Undertaker, I mean, I don't know if Sting was as prominent in his character. I mean, like I just know that Undertaker was always the Undertaker, like no
yes.
matter where he
Oh yeah,
went,
no,
what
no,
he
that's
did.
no, very much. The Stinger was always, the Crow, Dark Sting. There was always that lore of Sting. Sting was just Sting. It's
Yeah.
just Sting is just
I'm
Sting.
just like referring like even like outside of wrestling, like just like when you're out and about, like Undertaker always just try to stay in character. Like he was always like he never really would do anything that would like I just love that he always was the Undertaker. There's people that nowadays, this kayfabe doesn't
Oh yeah.
exist
No,
anymore.
they're both they're cut from the same cloth. Kayfabe is still very much alive with them. So
So yeah, that's cool. Those you get respect for guys like that.
yeah. Last one before we get into the high spot. MJF doesn't have enough matches in quotations. It's just something I keep seeing online. Puff or pass, MJF doesn't have enough matches.
It's not, I mean, that's what he's supposed to do.
Thank you. I mean, that's simply it. We'll light puff on this one. Newsflash, you fucking idiots. He's a heel. He's not supposed to defend the title every single week. He's not supposed to be on your side. He's supposed to piss you off and make you want that title. Why, like, why isn't that title off of him? I swear to God, every single time that he has that title, I just want to rip it off. And then that's why when he finally does drop the strap, it means that much more. So you simpletons, stop crying that he's not like Hangman. He didn't have a match every single week. He's not like Moxley. He wasn't having a match every single week. He wasn't defending, he wasn't jumping out of the crowd and having 3-minute squash matches. He comes out with the microphone and he calls everyone stupid idiots, and you all gobble it up, and then you say his catchphrase, you stupid fucks. So yeah, MJF isn't having enough matches. He's killing it. That's exactly how I want his career to be longevity. I want it to be long. I want to keep seeing this. So less matches, more production and promos. And then when you do get a match from MJF in a pay-per-view, you're like, damn, yeah, that 60-minute banger versus Danielson, that was worth it. Him versus CM Punk, worth it. It's worth the wait. So there you go. That's all I have to say on that. That was my light puff. I chose that one. Sorry, I had to just because it's MJF.
No, yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, there you go. Last little thing. That was our puffer pass. So hopefully, like I said, celebrate responsibly with your 420. With like I said, it's legal and all. We like to partake over here, doing a little dabber doos over as time passes. But we make sure everything's okay first. So never
Smoke responsibly.
Yeah, don't podcast under the influence. Let's see. We're gonna hit the high spot. This is gonna be the good one. This is what we talk about for everyone else and their mothers going over it. CM Punk is basically guaranteed to return. Let's see. From talks of a third show, AEW Collision being announced, now a Chicago show being added, which we're gonna go ahead and try and get pre-sale Thursday, if not on Friday, whatever. There's a lot of buzz around AEW right now with a certain name being thrown around, and it is in fact CM Punk, like I made mention to. His Rocky post on his Instagram, in an article surfacing saying he's all but basically in the building. He's back. He's basically there. So hearing it, hearing he's willing to work with anyone and everyone, that's uplifting. That's positive. That's what I want to hear. Hearing the Elite might not be so keen is not so encouraging. So I hope either the narrative is wrong or again, Meltzer isn't pushing that. He seems to be pushing that CM Punk and FTR are kind of just guarding out and blocking out the Elite from making decisions and stuff like that. That's why they've also come to this conclusion that AEW Collision is like a brand split and people are choosing their sides. It's just such a mess. We can never just have what we want, and what we simply want is just CM Punk back to have good matches. That's what we wanted for the past 7-8 years now, and from just all the drama and injuries that piled up, we can't have that just because there's just so much hearsay and everything else. So personally, I've mentioned it before about Meltzer. I'm getting sick that he has this influence and all this stuff, and he just doesn't take responsibility of it. He just fires away whatever he seems to be fit as fact, doesn't talk to anybody on the counter side, and just runs with whatever. And again, people blindly will follow whatever, and then the wrestling fans blindly follow what Meltzer says, and then that turns into a bunch of other articles and people that think they're journalists that they're just looking for a pretty penny off clickbait. So it gets weird. And like I said, the what would it be? I run out of words when we go so long. The quality and the what's the word when your character I hate words. The words are hard and stupid. Whatever.
What word?
Your credibility. There you go. That's the word.
There you go.
You're exactly. I'm glad I was able to do that all by myself. I did all by myself. When just the credibility, the credibility of Meltzer goes down, and all around the wrestling journalists, if that's what we can even call it at that point, that all around goes down, and then the morale of fans goes down because everyone's not reading lies and everyone's bitching and moaning at each other in the comment section. So I just want CM Punk back. I just want him to have good matches. I want to see him main event Wembley. I want to do FT. I want to do CM FTR versus the Elite. I want to do CM Punk versus Kenny. I want it all. Set egos aside. Like at the end of the day, a lot of people seem to forget that wrestling is a business. It's not a friends club. It's not you scratch my back. It's that. But it's on the business side, and it should be all on the business side. At the end of the day, these guys should be able to put their ginormous. It's hard. You got to put your ginormous egos away for 15 to 20 minutes, put on a good performance, and then you can go back to be a curmudgeon asshole. It's all you. It's all fine. But for
It's
that
true.
instance, you got to put it away. You got to be able to say, hey, we can put asses in seats and sell, and my family can eat for the next 5 years, and your family can eat for the next 5 years, so on and so forth. Let's just get this done. It really should come down to that, and I get it. And Punk's, from what we've known, Punk's he's willing to work with anybody. If the elite's not, even if that's a lie, it should just be open to either way. And I hate that FTR is getting collateral damage from them or from Dax trying to tweet, and all because God, I'm sick of this. Can you guys stop harping on Jim Cornette? And I mean, he's got good ideas. He's got a lot of bad ideas too. But at the end of it, he's not a racist. He's not a sexist. He's not a misogynist. He's just an old guy from a different time that doesn't speak the same way that we do. It's similar to the Anthony Bass thing. Grow the fuck up and be able to recognize this shit. Not everyone is going to conform to the way that you want them to think, talk, and feel. It's simply not going to happen. And a guy like Jim Cornette is not going to change his ways. So when you throw, CM Punk and FTR are homeboys, cheerleaders for Jim Cornette. So now they're bad because Jim Cornette said something racist 5 years ago. Are we just going to ignore that he's put over multiple people of color in the wrestling industry, being Yokozuna's manager for forever, being, again, helping multiple talents, being the manager and starter of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, doing everything else on OVW along the ways. Just, again, I'm going off on a tangent on that for sure, but again, it's so stupid when everyone just he becomes persona non grata. You can't mention his name without something else happening or just being associated as you're a racist because this. So people got to stop doing that, but that won't happen. So I'm talking to a wall. So stop. You can't associate FTR and CM Punk for being this and can't call them X because Jim Cornette likes their work and actually compliments them and doesn't compliment Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, which is kind of what a lot of the AEW people are pissed off about, is what they're like, and then that's it, and it all comes full circle, like, they don't like I kind of already spelling it out. They like Kenny and the Young Bucks, therefore they don't like FTR and CM Punk, so they don't like Jim Cornette, and it all comes, like I said, all in that same realm.
Wow.
Whatever, so on and so forth. I just want to see good wrestling. I just want to see good wrestling at the end of the day. And whether you
Yeah.
like it or not, CM Punk is going to put asses in seats. He's already shown in the AEW numbers, pay-per-view buys, ticket sales, everything that he sells. He's broken every area. He has all the AEW records still for sales and all that stuff. So he's there, whether you like it or not. He wants to work, and he's gonna, because the Warner Brothers boys, they love this idea that this is going to be basically all wrapped around CM Punk, and they're happy. So if the upstairs people, all the big wigs upstairs are happy, the Warner Brothers Discovery people are happy, then you can bet your bottom dollar that that's exactly what's going to happen. CM Punk is coming in, whether you like it or not, and I love it. So
Come on.
I'm happy until further notice. Give me CM Punk versus everybody. I don't care. What are you feeling on this? And I have one more thing on this on CM Punk at the end, or something else, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still a fan of CM Punk. I don't like all the backstage drama that's been going on, but it seems like that's hopefully going to get resolved. I hope that everyone can just be a bigger man and put this to the side and just put it in the past. CM Punk is a money drawer. He's one of the top guys right now. I mean, he's like, he literally was AEW champion not that long ago. And I mean, everyone loved it. No one complained. He's awesome. And it's just all this shit happened and kind of just put it like it just kind of ruined the plans that they had going for everything.
Yeah.
So
Every time they had something set up, it was just diarrhea, wet fart of a finale or a conclusion between the scrappers. Like I said, CM Punk getting hurt basically
yeah,
right
that
after the
really
title
too.
win. Just putting a big damper on everything. It's just a big pain. So
Yeah, not being able to see him at Forbidden Door, like that sucked.
yeah, that was a pain in the ass.
He was gonna wrestle Tanahashi and got completely cooked.
Yeah, just not fun at all. So
So hopefully that yeah, he comes back and they can get something good going for him right away. And yeah, I love the Young Bucks too, but you know, you can do what you got to do. Or if you get Tony Khan wants you guys to do something together, then fuck it. Why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, and I know, like I said, I could from watching the All Access show, I get wherever not where everyone's coming from, but I understand the Young Bucks do have they have a big impact on that in that locker room. A lot of people very likable. Everyone seems to be
Oh
surrounded by
yeah.
them, and they added they were in the again just from watching the first episode. That was their big return from their suspension. They changed the overall positive, just in a positive way. Changed the locker room. A lot of people were very excited to see them, and ultimately made that day very just all around better. So I just again, in the perfect world, all these guys can and should work together.
Hmm.
Only time will tell, and I think ultimately it might just have to be that paycheck that is gonna have to money's gonna be the one that talks the most. So
Hmm.
yeah, and I think it should be Punk. Like I said earlier, it should be Punk and Kenny in the main event at Wembley, or Punk and FTR versus the Elite. It shouldn't be what Eric Bischoff's grandmaster idea should be. Did you hear about this one? Did you see this one?
I did, and I
He
thought it
wants
wasn't real.
he wants to book his oh my god, his brilliant plan to book CM Punk and Goldberg in the main event. Oh, sounding like
Goldberg.
yeah, no one needs
Goldberg.
Oldberg. No, we don't need Oldberg. CM Punk and Goldberg, he's like, do it, make it happen, Tony. Essentially daring him for the AEW faithful to just ultimately turn on Tony Khan, because that's what would happen. No one in their right mind wants to see Goldberg, let alone see him in the main event, barely moving around against CM Punk, who, I mean, CM Punk should go over, and he doesn't need that match. What a terrible booking decision by a guy that had 1/5 of a good idea in the 90s. That's essentially turned into a clothing brand now, being the NWO logo sticker. I mean, what a dumbass. I hate this guy. Uh why he thinks his opinion is still worth a shit is beyond me. Like I said, you had one good idea and your good product lasted a whole 83 weeks. It was so good you named your podcast after it. It was, again, that's your only famous mark, and then that's your famous that's your go-to. You need to take up a new hobby. Learn to fish, Eric Bischoff. You are a joke. You're an absolute joke. You are the
Oh,
Mel Kiper of the wrestling world. How about that? Comes full circle. How about that? So Eric Bischoff, go for a hike. Go do something. Go for a run. Do anything else than watch wrestling and talk about it, because you're done. I take your privileges away. You're done. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Uh, that's about it. That's about it for today. CM Punk coming back, wrestling in the books. That about if you're good, that about wraps up episode 15. Episode 15 almost ran. I almost forgot what we were on.
yeah, this was a good one, man.
There
That's
we
a good
go.
way to end.
That wraps up episode 14, our 420 celebratory episode. Make sure you go
I'm
ahead.
baked.
There you go. Celebrate responsibly. Check, please, my guy. Hey, start farting around over there. Give me my soup. All right. Yeah, we got enough going around over there. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll be deep diving in on the draft. Thank you as always for tuning in. I always love doing this shit. That's what we do.
Oh yeah.
Alan, take your notes. Troy, thank you for listening, watching, sharing. Thanks for the support at work. We hear you loud and clear over there all the time. Everyone, as always, love seeing the support, sharing it around, and doing all that. So, excuse me, one last little burp for to say, how do you do? Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time and next week.
Woo!